Hello and welcome. I'm Gargi Rawat. You're watching me on youtube.com/NDTV, the site to go to for all our videos. And every day we ask you what are the stories you want to know more about. Our top 5 stories of the day: COVID-19, that's coronavirus, government advisory for schools. And I think a lot of you concerned about coronavirus, so that's what you want to know most about. BJP in Madhya Pradesh, we didn't start the fire. This is Operation Holy, as it's being called, an effort to topple the Kamal Nath government. That's what the Congress has claimed. We'll have more on that. The top court to hear Omar Abdullah's sister's plea. Sarah, a pilot approaching the Supreme Court on her brother being kept in detention and asking for a hearing and also for him to be produced in court. Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire, has quit the US presidential race. This is after he dropped $500 million on his campaign, and he's immediately endorsed Biden. This is after he did very, very poorly on Super Tuesday. And rain threatens the women's T20 semi-final, but this is not such bad news for India. Of course, we were facing off with England, but even if it rains and the match doesn't happen, it means we are actually through to the final, because that's based on the performance of the Indian women down under. So Indian women doing great in that T20 championship. Well, first up, let's get to the latest on coronavirus. And now 29 people in the country are confirmed with the coronavirus, the 29th person being an employee of Paytm in Gurgaon, and the office issued a statement saying that they have now asked for employees at that office to actually stay home and work from home over the next 2 days. We're expecting a statement to be made by the health minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, in Parliament today on the coronavirus outbreak and whatever steps the Indian government is taking, because clearly coronavirus is here and we're having more and more cases emerging, but the government has said there is no need to panic, because remember the 3 original cases from Kerala, which were students who traveled to China who got infected, they've all recovered now from coronavirus, so it's nothing to worry about. Doctors have also been emphasizing it is a flu, and yes, you will get all the symptoms of a flu. You may have breathlessness, and just a very small percentage of people actually need hospitalization, and an even smaller percentage have actually died due to coronavirus. So doctors are saying not to panic, but just ensure that you protect yourself whichever way you can, in terms of avoiding crowded places, ensuring your hands are clean at all time. Wash your hands constantly. Make sure you don't touch any dirty surfaces or any surfaces, because you don't know what germs might be there. But also what a lot of people are doing about wearing masks. Now doctors are saying this is not required, because masks will not protect you, that we don't realize, but after a point the masks become moist and in fact attract more germs, and you tend to touch your face a lot more when you're wearing the mask. So doctors are saying there is no need to wear masks, but those, except if you're infected, if you're somebody who's actually coughing and has a cold, then wear a mask to ensure that you don't infect other people. But even better would be if you just stayed at home. So this is something that I think all of us have to inculcate, these sort of practices about being more responsible as citizens, and ensuring greater habits in terms of cleanliness. So the 29th person is the Paytm employee. Now remember, the figures in India have took a massive jump yesterday after the Italian tourists who were traveling in Rajasthan. They were a bunch of 16 of them were confirmed with coronavirus, and the 17th person was also part of the group, the driver who was actually driving them their bus all over Rajasthan. So that is why we've seen such a massive jump in coronavirus cases in the country. And we have the one person from Delhi who was infected, the one person in Hyderabad who traveled from Dubai. The Delhi person, 6 of his family members are now infected with coronavirus. So this has led to this increase in cases. But now India has started universal screening for all passengers. So all passengers coming from flights abroad are being screened, because earlier we were only screening those from COVID affected countries. But like the Delhi man, he had actually flown in from Austria. Now what wasn't known is that when he was in Austria, he took a bus to Italy and then came back to Austria and flew back to India, and he came back carrying the coronavirus. Now Italy is of course one of the worst affected European countries, so now we are screening everyone who's arriving. In fact, over 5 lakh people have been screened so far, and coronavirus so far has spread to 60 nations. It's killed more than 3,000 people, infecting over 90,000. So 90,000 have been infected by coronavirus, though not everybody who's been infected has actually gone to hospital. So even the numbers could be a lot higher. Now one interesting development or piece of news rather is about how Benjamin Netanyahu is asking people that ditch the handshake, in fact go with the Indian namaste. So there you can see, in this time of being extra cautious about who all you come in touch with, and touching anybody's hand. Netanyahu there saying just do the namaste when you greet somebody rather than the handshake, because you don't know who's carrying what kind of a virus these days. India's first coronavirus patient in Kerala actually wrote about the experience that they had, and it says it wasn't easy to remain isolated, because we're thinking about coronavirus patients and we're saying that they must all be isolated, but it's just imagine staying on your own in a hospital for several days. So this patient who is now recovered wrote about how that experience was, and how it wasn't very easy to remain isolated for such a long time. And but as we've been saying, and something that everybody's been emphasizing, that the 3 patients, original coronavirus patients in India, in Kerala, have all now recovered and are all back home and safe. So that is something to focus on, a positive aspect to focus on in this time. And there's a lot of worry and agitation over and fears. Many parents I know are not sending their children to school. Another interesting factor that has emerged is that children are more resilient to coronavirus, to fighting off the coronavirus. And this is something that's been found in China, and it seems that children are better to ward it off, perhaps because they're generally healthier and more robust. So that has been an interesting aspect of the findings, but of course it's all in very early stages. And Sania Mirza has released a video in which she asks people to be what you can do for coronavirus. So that's very interesting.
भाई और बहनों, आपसे कुछ कहना चाहती हूँ। जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं कि एक बीमारी बहुत ही तेज़ी से फैल रही है। इस बीमारी का नाम है कोरोना वायरस। ये बीमारी चाइना से इसकी शुरुआत हुई है और यूनाइटेड नेशंस के मुताबिक ये बहुत सारे मुल्कों में फैल चुकी है। लिहाजा हम इस बीमारी से बचने के लिए कुछ चीज़ें कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर सबसे पहली चीज़, अगर आपको इस बीमारी के जो अलामत है वो हैं सर्दी, खांसी, बुखार या शॉर्टनेस ऑफ ब्रेथ, अगर सांस लेने में आपको मुश्किल हो रही है तो आप फ़ौरन डॉक्टर के पास जाएं और उनसे
All right, so that is Sania Mirza, and she then goes on to say that you must wash your hands, call a helpline, and keep yourself in isolation for 14 days. Well, that's all the time I have for you. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.